It's very large, very populated. I remember hearing before I went down there that they have a really good public transportation system. And what I came to find out is a really good public transportation system meant there are a lot of buses. Not that they're good. Usually they're old rundown school buses that have been revamped with holes in the floors, but there were a lot of buses and taxis. On my mission, most areas didn't have bikes or cars. The only cars was the mission presidents, and I think the assistants had a car. So we went everywhere walking or riding the bus. But we were, it's a big city, so our areas weren't really huge either. We can walk from one side of the area to the other pretty quickly. Our ward, there was usually missionaries per ward, not wards per missionary. So the areas weren't huge. Most of it I would describe as like a ghetto. I don't want to talk bad about the place, but there was a lot of graffiti everywhere. I think I lived a pretty sheltered life because I didn't really ever talk to a drunk person till my mission, and they were everywhere. There's a lot of drinking, drugs, homemade drugs, sniffing paint thinner and stuff like that. And that's just very common where I was. I don't want to paint the picture that everybody is like that, because there are a lot of very good people. But I'm just saying, if you come from a sheltered life like I had before, it was kind of a shock to see all that just in the open everywhere. Mixed in with all that were some very great families. Families are very important down in Mexico. Whole groups of families will live together. You have the grandchildren and the grandparents all together. Monterrey's pretty industrial compared to other Mexican cities. It's a bit more modern. You'll see a Porsche on the street right next to a horse and carriage. There's a big contrast in the amount of money people have, and there's a lot of factories and things. A lot of American companies. You read the Hecho en Mexico sticker, is probably made in Monterey. There's and those are places that people love to work because they treated the employees well. Like you can go work in the fields, or you can go work at Mattel, and everyone wanted to work at Mattel, or one of the other factories there. So there's a lot of industry there. It's a very old city. It was turning 400 when I was there. It was their 400th birthday, Monterey. So there's, downtown, there's some really old buildings, Spanish forts and pretty cool cathedrals and stuff like that. You can go on your P-Day downtown. There was a lot of crime, but I always felt very safe. I guess I figured, I'm on the Lord's errand, I'm safe, and I felt safe the whole time. But I did see a lot of crime. I saw things happen right in front of me. I do know some elders who were mugged. I never was personally, but it was pretty common to see a lot of crime, and I think that just comes from being in a big city. Not necessarily Mexico or just you're in a downtown area of 3.5 million people. You're going to see a bit more crime.